guapo. All right, and we're back. Okay, so welcome back to my stream. Welcome back to my channel. This video would be a recap of episode 9, season 10, Love is Blind, Ohio. All right, if you haven't seen my other reviews from episode 1 till episode 8, please go and check those out. If not, stay here, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that. All right, so I'm gonna get into episode 9. I want to live stream episode 10, but not visually. I want to like watch it, so the audio will be playing as I'm live reacting, but I just don't know if that would cause a copyright situation with the audio or not. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not, but I do plan to watch episode 10 tonight because I want to be all caught up. Let me just go on Netflix to see how many episodes there are currently out. Let me see. All right, so today is March 1st. So far we have episode 10 and 11, and then 12 is the wedding, which is streaming on March 4th. So as long as I watch the episodes before March 4th, we're all set. But yeah, so episode 9 called I'm Just Being Honest. All right, so this episode begins basically where episode 8 left off, where Chris is telling Jessica, hey, you know, I'm not physically attracted to you. You know, I'm used to dating women who do Pilates, who do yoga, CrossFit, you know, that type of vibe. And she's getting a sense of like, okay, you're talking about my body, like you don't like my body. He kind of confirms that without confirming it, but basically saying that. I feel like up until this moment, Jessica was head over heels with him. Like, she really liked this guy, really felt like things were just so perfect, you know, they were gonna make it, you know, whatever. But Chris kind of switched the script, okay, and was like, I'm not physically attracted to you, okay, I can't do it. He also said that he wanted to continue the connection after he just said that to her face, and she's kind of just there taking it in like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave. Because at that point, it's like, we met, okay, we went on a honeymoon, we went on a date, you came to my house, I went to your house. Like, this whole time we've been sexual, we've been physically connecting, right? Why haven't you been said this? You could have said this the day after we met. You could have said this in Cabo, okay? You could have been said this, but now after you don't see my home, and this is why I feel like Chris instantly became intimidated by her. Once he seen how perfect she is and how set her life is, he kind of was like, yeah, this is not the woman for me. And then if I'm body shaming you and you're not telling me that if I can't body shame you and you not be okay with that, or if I can't talk down to you, you not be okay with that, then we have a problem here. Basically, that's kind of what I was getting. And I just didn't like, his whole persona had changed from episode 1 to now. It totally changed, and then I didn't like it. All right, so the notes that I have is Chris is an asshole, straight up asshole. I feel he did that to knock her down a notch. She was too perfect. He started to body shame her. Like, okay, so there was a situation where they were talking about like where they would live, and she was like, well, you know, you can live with me because, you know, I have this home, you know, it's not as convenient as your spot, but it's big enough for both of us. You know, I have multiple rooms, you know, it's still in the same state, whatever, you still can commute here or there, and it's a nice area. And also, if you don't want to stay with me, that's fine, because we only live about 15 minutes away from each other. That's not a big deal. Like, we can make this work, you know. And after that, it's like everything totally changed. And then he went out and he didn't talk to her, he didn't communicate with her. And I'm just like tired of, like, I hate when the seasons, like when these contestants come in on the season and they leave their partner. Like, why are you leaving the show? Like, why are you leaving them? If anything, you should be asking them to come out with you or just communicate. It's not even that they can't leave. Like, leave. If you want to leave, go get a break, go chill with your friends outside of the show or whatever it is, cool. But communicate with your significant other. Like, communicate with your fiance, right? I feel like that's a fair exchange. But apparently, that's against the rules, especially with Chris. He's like, I don't have to communicate anything. I don't have to say anything. Oh, really? Okay. Cool. And then, so as he's expressing more of like what he's physically not attracted to her in, I was confused because I'm like, is he trying to say her endurance? Like he's not, she can't keep up with him in a bedroom, or, is it her body? Like, what is it? Like, he's not really saying like, it's your body, but she's asking like, is it my body? And he's like, I mean, I'm used to people who do CrossFit. I'm used to people who do yoga. Like, it's kind of like passive aggressive. Like, if you're going to sit down and have a moment, have that moment and just say exactly what it is. Don't like beat around the bush about it. Don't like, I can't do him. And then he goes to say, I also been thinking about my second option. So is it really her body, or is it that you've been wanting Bri this whole time and you haven't really said that? And here's the thing. Because when him and Bri was at that pool and they were talking about the relationships, he made it seem like to Bri, like, everything is good with me and Jessica. Like, we're perfect. We're great. Like, you focus on your connection. I'm going to focus on mine. Hold on. I think I got to sneeze. Okay, I guess it went on. Excuse me. He's like, you focus on your connection, I'm gonna focus on mine. I think she's the one for me, and I think that guy is the one for you. Like, he kind of was brushing her off, giving her the cold shoulder, kind of like making her seem like she's tripping about what they had, and he's over that, okay? But apparently not, because now he's in the moment saying like, well, I really been thinking about Bri. Okay. And then if you want to body shame Jessica, I don't think so you think Bri is given. That's true. You thinking Bri in the looks section that Bri is winning over Jessica? What? Excuse me? Okay. You think Bri looks better than Jessica? Okay, cool. I think it was that Jessica is doing better than Bri, and that's not a woman that he wants to set himself up with, because she kind of is out of his league. Let's just say she's out of his league, technically speaking. Okay, and he wants a Bri who, she's not so much out of his league. She's reachable. Okay, she's reachable. He can get her, and she's really dying to be with him anyway. He wants that because it feels about body. Let's just be real. You just had to find something wrong, or you had to find some type of issue to break you and her up. And I feel like when he left that house, he might have been talking to Bri, text her, called her, went to see her or something. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out, okay? And then that's the thing too. He was talking to Jessica as if he was the ultimate prize. Like, he could just, I feel like he feels like he could do better, or he's been doing better. And if he was to deal with you, he would be downgrading from the women that he's already been with. It's like, really? I don't think you talk to many doctors. I really don't think good looking, charming, that got their shit together doctors. I just don't think that you have. But okay, you got it. Because she don't do Pilates. My bad. But I said he's been pretending this whole time. And he's talking about, let's still try. Like, what? What do you mean still try? And I feel like he took that moment he tried to embarrass her. I'm glad he's not the one. And Jessica deserves better. Dr. Jessica deserves better. She left the show, and I'm so glad that she left. And she was like, you know what? Whatever it is, whatever. She did cry. He did get a few of her tears. Cool, whatever. But I feel like it's not a cry like, oh my God, I really want, well, yeah, it kind of was a bit of, I wanted this to work out, but I feel like she knows she's worth more than that, and she knows that this dweeb, Chris, ain't shit, okay? She could do better, and she could find better men than him, just point blank period. So again, I feel like the music that they played in his confessional, it was like a very narcissistic type of setup that they had. Like he was just sitting in a chair like, yeah, I mean, you know, I know we're not gonna have our looks when we're 90 years old, but I'm not 90. I'm 30 years old. So, you know, until I'm 90, I want this type of look and I want this and I'm gonna do this and then I'm like, oh. Okay. And then also I feel like him and Bree have very similar personalities in the way that they demean their partner. Like Bree was talking down on Connor a lot last episode. Just everything. Like if you really like pay attention how Bree speaks to Connor, it's kind of, again, passive aggressive. Like she says little slick slide comments where it's like, damn, do you even like him? Do you find him interesting? Do you want, like, I don't know. It's very weird. And I feel as though Chris tried to do that with Jessica in this moment and he played himself. Like if he felt like she was to tolerate that type of talk to her, or, you know, it's one thing to say, you know, I'm not physically attracted to you, but we can work on it, you know, or, and that's my thing. How do you come this far outside of Cabo and then say I'm not physically attracted to you? I just don't even see how that, because you would have been known that. You know what I'm saying? You would have been felt that. Now you don't feel that anymore after the honeymoon? Okay. Fake. And then, here's the thing. He said, if I can't be mean to her and make myself no, this is how I feel his perspective is. If I can't be mean to her and make myself feel better than you, I don't want her. That's the kind of vibe that I get from Chris. If he can't make himself feel better about himself by demeaning his partner or putting her down, he don't want nothing to do with her. I feel like with the type of banter Bree has and the type of banter, it's not even banter with him. That's just straight up demeaning. I feel like they probably will be a little bit more compatible. Maybe they will get each other's sense of humor or whatever. But I don't think Bree really wants to deal with that. She just wants the feeling of this man having someone and low-key wanting her. That's what she wants. I don't think she actually wants to be with Chris. She actually wants to start something with him. No. She just likes the feeling of somebody else liking her while she's in a situation or they're in a situation. It feeds her ego type of vibe. Because if that was the case, why didn't y'all just pick each other in the pods? Why y'all didn't pick each other in the pods? Why y'all didn't just do that? Oh, okay. Next. All right. So then we shift over to Bree and Connor. I said Connor is treated like a child with Bree. And then, so they're in the kitchen. I guess they're cooking or whatever. And kind of Bree is kind of instructing him how to do things and cook, I guess. And he must have put something in the microwave. She's like, oh my God, you're about to put plastic in the microwave? First of all, bitch, I put plastic in the microwave all the time. I'm a grown ass woman. Like, it's not, the house ain't gonna burn down. It's okay. And stop treating this man like he a kid. Like, you gotta look after everything he do and you gotta micromanage everything he do. Like, that's so annoying. Like, do you not see that, girl? Okay. So while they're in the middle of their, you know, back and forth, he also said something like, you know, like, you're kind of mean, or like, I don't like what you're saying to me. Like, it don't make me feel good. Because anybody can see that watches the show, that she's saying things to put him down. Just little slick slide comments. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be nicer. And it's like, girl, you know this man, you know you settled for this man. And now you want to make him feel bad for that? Because you the one who settled? You didn't have to go for him. You could have went for a Chris. You could have went for somebody else. Okay? So they're doing that, and Jessica texts Bree. Mind you, this is after Jessica just left the show. So I'm just like, why in the hell is Jessica texting Bree? That ain't your friend. That's not your, ain't that your friend? No, that's not her friend. That's not your friend. So Bree instantly knew what it was. Let's be honest. She knew why Bree. See, I think this is a scheme that Todd set up. I feel like, first of all, if everybody don't exchange numbers and shit like that, I feel like Bree and Chris have been texting, and they set this whole thing up like, okay, well, you with your girl, I'm with my guy. Let's just see how it goes. But at the end of the day, if things don't work out, let's come together. Okay. And I feel like they were kind of, I don't know. I just feel like Bree was saying stuff like, she probably was saying, like, oh, I know it's not gonna work out. You know, I'm the better option. You know, if you love me, if you like me, if you want to be with me, in that. So he found a reason to end it. Now Jessica texting Bree. That's what I feel like happened. So after that, Alex, they switch over to Alex. So yeah, wait, hold on. Before I get to Ashley and Alex, I think when Jessica texts Bree, I think Bree must have said like, oh, I'm about to call Chris, or I'm about to call her to see what's going on, type of thing. And then they switch the scene. But it's like, I kind of feel like Bree kind of is like gloating in that. Like, she's happy that they ended it. She's happy that they're not doing well. She's happy that they broke up because, again, she really wants him. She really wants Chris. So, anyways, now moving on. Ashley and Alex, they're on a golf date. And then it dawned on me that Alex was saying he wanted to move to Florida because of golf. I'm thinking he's saying like the golf of the land, like, you know, it's a great land, like, they, you know, many homes to stay, like a great golf, like, you know, like a great area, a great, you know, land, piece of land. No, he's talking about golf, literally. Okay, so what are you trying to be, a pro golfer now? You want to be a golf coach? What's this about? So then she also talks about like her sexual frustration, you know, that was like why they were, you know, arguing before. That's why they get frustrated with each other, because she has like sexual frustration and she wants to have sex and blah, blah, blah. But her needs have been met now. Okay, cool. I'm like, girl, you need to be on ice. You need to sit down on some ice for real, because I'm over it. So then next scene, we have Vic and Christine. So Christine visits Vic at his job. He's a school teacher. He's a professor. All right. And then they go to Christine's hometown. And I just was starting to like get irritated. Like, okay, girl, you white. Whoop-de-doo. We get it. Like, her hometown is like the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like, she taking Vic to her hood, but it ain't no hood. It's grassland, woods, trees, the world. You know? Like, girl, okay, we get it. Congratulations, Christine. You're white. Whoop-de-doo. We know that. Like, we know that already. But again, also, she still hasn't met his parents. Vic, where your parents at? Where your mama? Where your daddy? Where y'all at? Where are these people at? I can't wait to meet them. I hope this next episode we get to see that. Because I'm really tired of this whole racial thing with them, and it's talking about race, and I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. Okay. And have they talked about where they want to live? Have we visited Vic's home yet? Have we visited Christine's home yet? We haven't done none of that stuff. Have we met Vic's friends? Christine's friends? Like, what's tea? What's going on? Like, where is all the guts and the meat and potatoes? They just showing like positives, like all the little good clips of them. That's it. They have no negative clips, like, at all. Just all positive things. I'm tired of this couple. Okay. Next, we have Amber and Jordan. So Amber meets Jordan's family, and his family loves her. Okay. They joke about his CPAP machine. You know, that machine he gotta wear to go to sleep. They joke about his back hair. They're very friendly and genuine. I really feel like she fit in with the family, like far as their banter, communication. Like they really did like her. And also they were like talking about, how she has a kid and how, they feel like that will be. And Jordan, reaffirms like, yeah, I never thought about having kids, but she makes me think about having kids. And then they also are talking about, how do you feel being like basically like a role model for her daughter. And his family was saying like, like, well, he's like the favorite uncle, type of vibe. So he's very family oriented, and I love that. So I feel like, again, I still feel like Amber and Jordan are going to make it to the end. Okay. Because I feel like they're the only ones that are like genuinely connecting, like having real conversations, being vulnerable. I don't know. The vibe just don't seem fake with me. It don't even seem too perfect because, yeah, it don't even seem too perfect. And I feel like Amber is such like, I love her personality. Like she's not like a fake girly. Like she's kind of like, I'm going to say how I feel and it is what it is and we can laugh about it. I'm going to be real. I'm going to speak up for myself. Like she has been through enough where she won't be like walked over or played with. That's the type of vibe I get from her. All right. So then we switch over to Brittany and Devontae. So another thing that I did not mention in the last episode, the last review on episode 8, was how Brittany, like how we've seen Brittany cry. Okay, we've seen Brittany cry with Devontae, and we've seen her complain about how he's just not giving her compliments or not, touching her and being intimate with her and stuff of that nature. But when she got to that house with her family, she did not mention any of that stuff. She made him seem like the ultimate dream guy, her ideal guy. And I didn't like that. Like, girl, you was not being honest. And why you didn't while he was over there talking to your daddy, you should have been over there talking to your mama about the things that you concerned about, okay? You should have been being real about that. But, okay, any old way. Let me make sure I ain't got that white stuff on my lip. So, anyways, the scene, we go to Brittany and Devontae, okay? I'm over the corny jokes with them. Like, they kind of make me cringe because they're so corny. Let me see. Cover my face. Oh, okay. So they were talking. They were joking around. They were sitting on the couch. And he goes like, okay, maybe if I put this blanket to cover my face up, it'll feel like we're in the pods again. And it's like, funny. You really trying to cover up her face because you don't like what you see. She's not your type. You fell in love with that voice that you thought was a white woman. That's what it was. Just say that. Stop playing these little jokey games and this slick slide stuff like, boy, you don't really fuck with her like that. Like you think you, or like you say you do, because we know you don't. Okay? So then Brittany goes in to tell him like, hey, you never compliment me. You never talk about my appearance or anything. Like you don't say like, oh, wow, you look beautiful or you look good today. You always talk about my clothes or what I have on. Like that's something that I noticed. And he's like, now I don't want to do it. When you tell me I don't do it and expect me to do it, it doesn't feel genuine. So that makes me not want to even do it, period. I said, what kind of reverse psychology bullshit is this? The woman just said her concerns on what she would like you to do. And this the thing. If you felt like I look beautiful, you would just say it. I wouldn't have to ask you to say it. You feel like I wouldn't have to ask you to say it. Like, what are you not clocking? What are you not clocking? Like, what? And I'm like, is this gaslighting? It's kind of like Devontae was giving like, you get what you get. Like, if I give you a compliment, cool. If I don't, cool. But don't tell me how to do it and when to do it. Okay. And then he also was saying like, he doesn't even like that. He doesn't like her to say, like, it's almost like he feels like she is picking a fight with him when she tells him how she feels. like, hey, why don't you compliment me? Or, why don't you talk about my appearance? I feel like you're not attracted to me. He's like, instead of doing that, how about you ask if I'm okay? How about you ask if anything's wrong? And how about you excuse the fuck out of me? So every moment of the day, I gotta sit there and check on you and how you feel. But when I'm over here telling you how I feel, you got a problem with that and say, oh, don't do that. You want me to check in on your emotional wellness, but not mine? Excuse me? Okay. So basically, all he's saying is he doesn't like the slick comments from her. And then he's telling her to stop. She starts crying. Or, wait, hold up. Stop crying. Oh yeah, she starts crying. She's kind of like, I'm sorry for projecting on you from my past relationships and stuff like that. Like, it's my bad. He made it seem like she had a problem because she was concerned on if he's attracted to her or not. He made it seem like, exactly, gaslighting, like I said. He gaslit that whole conversation to the point that she was crying and he was sitting there like, yeah, no, you don't have to cry. Like, yeah, like I just don't like those slick comments. Like, just don't do that. And and she's like, oh, this whole time, like, we've both been feeling away and we just haven't been saying anything. And I'm like, no, bitch, you've been saying something. He don't want to be feeling away and not saying it. You've been saying something. But he don't want to address it. He don't want to be forth and direct with you. He want to be passive aggressive about the shit and not give you what you're asking for, wanting you to beg for it. Like, no, we ain't doing that, Brittany. Stand up. Girl, stand up. You deserve way better than a motherfucking Devontae. Okay? I'm like, why the hell is she crying? And she's like, yeah, I have more work to do. I'm like, Devontae got more work to do too. The fuck? Because emotionally, how can I say this? Brittany is not emotionally safe with him, okay, period. And he doesn't communicate very well with her, period. Like, those two things are very important. And I feel like if she was to continue with this conversation or continue with this relationship, she will become resentful of him. Or, she will bite her tongue so much and it will seem as if, like, she just won't be satisfied in this connection, period. Because he kind of only wants you to, I don't even know. I just feel like he's not forthcoming with the truth or how he feels. He's not direct enough for Brittany, okay? He just kind of goes away in his nothing box, won't talk to her, won't touch her, won't do anything, and then he kind of wants you to run and go check on him. Why? Stop acting weird. If I'm your fiance, you should feel comfortable enough to come to me and talk about what's on your mind, what's bothering you, what's wrong. If you're not attracted to me, say that. You don't like me because I'm not white, just say that. But we know he's not going to say that, okay? So, they're still talking about it after she's crying and stuff. And then he finally gives her what she wants. He's like, I feel like you're very beautiful. I love your size. I love your laugh. I love your lashes, your voluptuous lashes. I'm like, what type? I said, man, go ahead. What type? No woman wants to be complimented on her lashes. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So I'm like, so in this moment, as she's telling you how she feels, and you just sat up there and told her how, you love her laugh and you love her smile and, oh, her voluptuous lashes, you didn't feel forced to do that in that moment? That's all you had. Any other time that she asked you to do that, that's all she wanted. So you didn't feel forced to do that. Was it genuine? Because what you just told us 2 minutes ago was that you feel forced to give her compliments. You feel forced to show affection. You feel forced. And you don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, because you don't want to do it, period. You never wanted to do it. You never wanted to do it. That's how a person feels when they don't want to do something. Yeah. Why are you here, Demonte? Why are you with her? Why? Leave the show. And I want Brittany to get the fuck up out of. I want her to get up and walk out. Get up and walk out. It's time to do that, Brittany. Like, she still hasn't. She need to do a Jessica. Oh, well, okay then. Toodles. She ain't did that yet. All right, so moving on. Chris and Connor meet up. So this is after the whole breakup between. Hold on, let me plug my phone up, the charger. Hope for that. All right, there we go. So after the breakup of Connor and Jessica, Connor decides he wants to meet up with Chris. You want to meet up with the man woman you want his lady, and you want to go meet up with him? Weird, very weird. Why would you meet with the man woman you want? I'm confused about that dynamic. You could have called up and texted up any other guy that was part of the Love Is Blind cast. Why you ain't called up Mike? Why you ain't called up Vic? Why didn't you call up Jordan? Why you didn't call Jordan? Why you didn't call none of them? But you want to call Chris? I mean, you want to call, hold on, because I'm getting confused with they ass. You want to call up Connor? Come on now. That's weird. Weird behavior. So, as he's having this conversation, he's basically saying, like, yeah, I told her how I felt. I kind of told her, the physical attraction wasn't there. But, I told her I still want to do it. And she kind of just ended it. He's like, are you sure she just ended it? Or, like... He like, no, she ended it. She walked out. She ended it. And it's like, Chris, the only reason it ended because your delivery and what you said. Like, why didn't you tell that woman that? You got this far in the experiment and now you're just now telling her that? And then why he's sitting there talking to him, he never mentions how he actually been thinking about Bri. Have he actually been contemplating going after Bri? And I feel like this meeting was really Chris trying to check Connor's temperature, trying to see where him and Bri were at. Like, let me have this meeting and tell him how awful my relationship is so I can see if he really still is into Bri. Let me see where I could put my foot in at. Let me see if I could creep in. And he's sitting there, I know he's sitting there mad as shit because Connor wasn't giving him no tea. He wasn't giving him no tea, no nothing. He's trying to give him real advice on how to fix the situation with him and Jessica. And I know he don't want to hear none of that shit. All that advice is going in one ear and out the other, okay? He don't want to hear that. He want to hear about Bri. And he want to hear about how you don't really fuck with Bri so he could slide right up in there, okay? That's what he want to hear. And this is why, another thing on why I think this is a scheme set up by Todd. I feel like him and Bri... I feel like Bri and Chris had an agreement. Like, if our relationships don't do right, we're gonna come back together. So in that meeting, he was hoping that Connor would say, yeah, I'm about to end things with Bri too. Like, our physical connection not there either, or we're not doing well. And he didn't hear any of that. He like, oh, so they still going strong? Bri was supposed to break up with him. We were supposed to come back together. But he didn't hear that. So that's what I wrote down. He was hoping they were doing bad. And Connor was giving advice to Chris. Like, I feel like he didn't even deserve any motherfucking advice from him. Because, like, what advice are you trying to actually give him? He don't care about this woman. He don't want to be with this woman. He wants your woman. So the advice you really giving him is the advice for him to get your woman. He gonna go meet up with Bri with some flowers and a text message. That's what he gonna go do. You basically giving him advice to be with your woman. Let's just be honest, okay? And I'm just like, this is a waste of time. Like, Chris gotta be laughing. Chris is laughing at Connor. Like, he has to be. Like, he is such a... And then he goes and say like, oh, like Connor says like, if I see Jessica, I'm gonna like make her like come talk to you, trying to like patch things up, like go talk to Chris, like patch things up, And he's like, yeah. And Chris is just sitting there like, yeah, yeah, looking mad in the face, like really mad, like I really want your woman. I don't care about nothing you talking about. I really want your woman. I don't want Jessica. I want your girl. And then he gonna say, oh yeah, maybe we can go on a double date. A double date? A double date with the man who wants my woman? A double date? Stop playing these somatic games. Stop playing with these weird old games with me, okay? Please don't do it. I'm like, what type of time is he on? He wish he was in Connor's spot. For real. All right, so then next clip, we're back with Ashley and Alex. And Ashley is meeting Alex's mother. Hold on, is my phone? Hold on, let me make sure that's... Make sure my charger plugged up. Okay, it's at 20%. All right, so we got a couple more scenes to go. Ooh. Oh, I think this episode was a bit longer than the last episode, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Ashley meets up with Alex's mom. And I already got the picture. She's a nomad too. So Alex is a runaway just like his mama. Okay? His mama been running all his life. Okay? From my understanding, Alex was an accident, right? So his father ain't really been in his life, His father didn't meet his father until 25 years old, right? Oh my God, my dog, hold please. Stop. So he didn't meet him till 25 years old. And I feel like this story is becoming so, it's kind of like, have you done told your son, this is a story that you told your son, like you were in an accident, your daddy left us, and don't ever be attached to anything. I'm gonna travel the world. And this, she was so hurt. Okay, hold up. Because before I get too deep on how I feel about their dynamic, okay? So I said Alex run away just like his mama. She coached him not to be attached to things, but experiences. She also says, let him be him. And then Ashley's first question is his girlfriend history. Okay, I'll give you that. Ashley. I'll give you that. But what? How much do you think that his mother knows? The one that moves around everywhere. How much do you think that his mother knows about his relationships? He could tell his mama anything, and she just gonna go with it because what? That's her son. Like, be so for real. So Ashley's first question is girlfriend history. And then she goes and says, most of his girlfriends cheated on him, and the reason they broke up because of loyalty and honesty. Are you loyal? Are you honest? And I just was like, I think he been lying to his mama. Okay? And then she goes into this whole, Alex, he's mourning the loss of soccer. The loss of soccer? Are you sure it's the loss of soccer or the loss of his daddy? Why you ain't talk about that? Why you ain't talk about when growing up on how he felt about not having a daddy? Why you ain't talk about that? Have you talked about the father figures that he had in his life? Because all you do is nomad. You just a nomad, right? So you moving from place to place to place. Have he seen you in a relationship? Have you given him examples of what it looks like to be a family? Okay? To be a father. Have you given him that type of, you know, example, or gave him a role model in his life? Or does he have a role model in his life to show him that? And then Ashley also goes and say, so that was from his mom, but Ashley says, you know, I'm done with the potential. I'm done with potential, and I feel like Alex is the one, and I'm done with potential. I said, so Alex ain't potential? You talking about Alex with no job? That's not potential, girl. Bye. That's potential. Because if he was not potential, y'all wouldn't be sitting there arguing about where y'all living, what state y'all living in, and arguing about how the water bottle should be set up in the refrigerator. If he's potential, girl, you potentially could make this work. You're trying to potentially see how him traveling everywhere is going to work, because you don't even know how that's going to work, because you haven't even lived away from your family that far away, like moving, and then your job is stationary. You don't even know. He's potential. Stop tricking your mind to believe he's the one, because he's not. Okay. And then she's talking about some, I think she called him a provider. I don't know if Ashley called him a provider, or she said she's looking for a provider. I said that he will not provide. He will not. Sorry, that ain't gonna be one of his strengths in this relationship. Just to tell you, boo, it ain't. Okay. So yeah, so basically from that dynamic of his mom being there or whatever, and I just felt like the mom don't know too much. A man can lie to his mom and tell him that all his girlfriends cheated on him, but never tell the part that he did. Let's just be honest, okay? And by the looks and sounds of it, he don't really talk to his mother like that. And when he do talk to his mother, you see what he called her and did. He called her to say that, hey, I just got married. Okay, so even if he called and said, hey, I just got this girl or whatever, but he also not saying how he's not attracted to that girl. He just said, mama, I got a fiance, but he never mentions how I'm actually not attracted to her. She's actually not my type. And actually, I'm gonna be moving to a different state. I don't even know if she can go, but hey, this is my fiance. He didn't say any of that. He didn't say how he's ready to move from Florida to Arizona. He didn't even say the timeline of that, of how soon or how long, or how long do he plan on living in Florida? How long do he plan on living in Arizona? He haven't said any of that stuff. But Ashley is trying to figure out, like, well, you know, he told me about the girl in Chicago. Then he told me about the girl in Florida. So wait, this is another girl you're talking about? Okay, so that's 3. Okay, so where did he meet her at? Like, girl, you digging in the wrong section. Okay, you worry about the wrong things. This man has had a past before you, yes, but I feel like you already know the answer to your question. You already know this man probably has not ended things very well with his exes. Or he haven't got closure with these women, haven't got closure from their relationships. You know that he still talks to them girls. You know that. He's said it. So what you think that you about to get out of his mama? What information you think you about to get out of his mama in regards to girlfriends? Ex-girlfriends? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, girl, you're not asking the right questions. You need to be worried about more than just his past relationships. You need to be worried about a little bit more than that. This mama don't know much about his personal life. She really don't. She really don't. All she knows is from childhood up until he left home. Up until he was living on his own. That's it. After that, she don't know much about his personal life. Okay? So, moving on. And I get the sense of, like, his mom is an enabler. Let's just say that. Okay, but anyway, let's go on. Now we're at Emma and Mike. So Mike meets Emma's family. Emma's sister was on his ass the whole time. And she called him out because he was saying how well Emma takes care of the dog and stuff like that. And she was like, I know you're not comparing her taking care of a damn dog to taking care of a kid. That's totally different, okay? And he's like, oh yeah, no, like, yeah, it's different, like, but at the same time, it's not that different. And she's like, no, it's different. It's different. It changed your whole world. Like, you trying to sugarcoat it and make it seem like it's simple. Like, I'm actually a mother. I actually have kids, so I can speak on this experience, okay? You don't have no kids. You never dealt with that. So just shut up, sit this one out, and let me speak for my sister and let her know what it is, okay? As a mother, okay? And she basically emphasized, don't have no kids to make him happy, because she was like, my sister has been no kids. And then all of a sudden you come around this stranger that she just met, and now all of a sudden she's contemplating kids. Yeah, something is a red flag for me. And she checked that real fast. I said, yes, sister. And then he doubled down on having kids. So all of this is that he's hearing, he still doubles down on the kids. He's like, well, yeah, we still need to have kids. I'm still looking into kids. I still want kids, and I want her to consider kids. And, you know, I believe kids are in my future, and I would love for her to be a mother. And then they get in a little more depth of the conversation. Like, the parents are there and her sisters, and Emma starts talking on why she doesn't want to have kids. And why is the mother and father just now learning this is why she does not want to have kids? It feels like they have just learned, the whole family has just learned why she don't want to have kids. They just thought she doesn't want to have kids, and that was it. She just don't want to have them. They did not know it was because of her health state. Okay. And then it dawned on me that they kind of, I don't want to say they sheltered her, but maybe they did, or they hid things from her so she wouldn't be hurt, or she wouldn't feel any pain, or she wouldn't feel like odd, or like she was adopted, okay? Because they said, like, yeah, you know, we wonder how much of it affected you. We didn't even know. We never knew how much of it affected you. And when you were a kid, you know, you would just come home and go to your room. You wouldn't even say anything. And then when we were in teacher conferences, they would say how much of a light you were. So they were getting like two different types of Emmas in the household. And that goes to show, like, what conversation did y'all have? What kind of conversation did y'all have with her when she was younger? Like, it seems like everything was like coddling and a lot of like sugarcoating and a lot of, you know, we love you, you're the best, and, you know, we're here for you, we do anything for you. It kind of gave that, okay? So Emma also breaks down to, you know, how she felt in middle school, how she always felt like she didn't fit in. She felt different than everybody. She wanted to be, even in the dating scene, she felt like she never got chose. She wanted someone to choose her. So in the pause when Mike chose her, she felt special, you know? And I feel like too, this woman, Emma, it's like she's broken, but in the same breath, she's also strong-minded. And she doesn't really let people like just run over her and tell her anything. You know, she's smarter than a fifth grader. Like, she knows how to like read between the lines, and I can't even explain, but I feel like even though they coddle her, she's kind of emotional intelligent, or she knows how to give grace to others, like, or understanding. Like, I don't know, like, it's something about her where it shows a lot of strength, and then there's another part of her that shows a lot of brokenness, okay? So in that moment she's sharing this, her mother goes to apologize. Like, well, I'm sorry. Like, I hope that I was able to give you the life, like a good life as a kid. Like, I didn't want to cause you any more trauma than you already had been through. Like, you know. And she's like, oh yeah, like you guys did give me a good, like, you know, you guys were good. And I'm just like, what the hell is this therapy? Why haven't they not already had this conversation with her prior this show? Y'all never talked about, y'all never sat down and talked about, how do you feel about being adopted? How do you feel that you look different than us? How do you feel about going through a bunch of surgeries? How do you feel about being the kid that can't go to school because you got surgery? Or how do you feel about, why don't you want to have kids? Can we get down to the root of that? Why you don't want to have kids? We would like, y'all never had these conversations. But it dawned on me that she was saying how she wasn't able to have like hard conversations in her past relationships. And probably because with her parents, she wasn't able to have hard conversations. Okay. So that's still kind of happening here. Okay. But even with Mike, she's still not able to have hard conversations because Mike just wants kids, and he just wants that. And if it's not that, I don't know. Listen, I don't know. But I just was really confused on how them meeting Mike became into a Emma, like it became into like an intervention, like a therapy session. And I'm just like, what the hell? None of this stuff was discussed prior? Okay, cool. But one thing I will say is that the family is very supportive of Emma. And they're the type of support, like kind of anything that she wants for herself, anything that she says, they're just going to go with that. They're not going to try to change her mind. They're not trying to go against it. They're not going to try to add their opinion or sway her in any way. And I understand that, but sometimes I just don't know. I feel like it's a fine line. It's a fine line of advising your child and trying to direct your child or guide your child in the right direction. And sometimes you and your child are not always gonna agree. You're not always gonna have the same opinion, like, you know. And then they also said on how they do want grandchildren. They do want her to have children. They would love for her to have children, but it seems like they never really voiced that. Once she said she didn't want to have any, they just was like, okay. And then it didn't go any deeper than that. They didn't question it. They didn't express their feelings. And I feel like that was kind of to make Emma happy, or to make Emma feel secure on how she feels, you know? So again, I feel like they did a good job on kind of instilling that into her when she was younger, like her being confident about her decisions and certain about her decisions. But also when it comes to other people's opinions or how they feel, I don't feel like, I don't know, too much to explain. All right, so yeah, I said they are the ultimate support team. And then Mike is still pushing kids on her. So Emma's sister brings out her nephews, and you know, they're having like, oh, say hi to Mike and shake his hand, and oh, how old are you? And Mike is like, oh, look, you see all this and you still don't want kids? And I'm like, bruh, read the room. We just had this deep conversation, this therapeutic conversation about why she doesn't want to have kids. And she said she's thought about it, and we done heard the agreements and disagreements. We don't heard how everybody feel. This is not the time. Mike, shut up. She possibly don't want no kids. Like, just shut up. And I was like, yeah, it's truth in a joke. Like, stop pushing this girl to have kids. Like, he was like, oh, you like, I'm just joking, but really though, like, no, stop joking about it. Stop talking about it, period. All right, so then moving on, we're back at Connor and Bree, or we're at Connor and Bree now. So Bree is meeting Connor's family. I said Bree is such a liar, okay? She just didn't like how much she was bigging up the relationship and bigging up him, and yeah, and oh my god, yeah, my mother, we're from there, and dude, like she was just making it seem so like she just found the love of her life, and like she wants this forever, and she doesn't see her life without anyone else but him. And it was just like, Bree, why is you lying? Why are you lying to his family like that? The family seemed cool. But I feel like the family also teased him as well. Like they were saying little comments that even when Jessica brought Devontae home and Jessica's brother was saying little jokes and, trying to be humorous, it did not give the same feel as Connor's family. Connor's family kind of was like, it kind of gave like he's the fuck up of the family. He's the fuck up, yeah, he's immature and he's the fuck up. So we're happy that he even brought a woman of your caliber to our house. We're happy that a woman even took him serious, because we don't even take him serious. Okay, that's kind of what it gave. And then again, Bree talks about the way he lives, and he has a keg in his house and he lives like a frat boy, a frat guy, and the mom is like, I mean, he's a single guy. Like, I don't know if that was her like trying to excuse his home or trying to just stick up for her son, because like, girl. And then Bree says, if it wasn't Connor, it was nobody. Girl, you sure? Yeah. You just sat up in these people's face and lied. You said if it wasn't Connor, it was nobody. When you sat up there and was in Cabo talking about something, oh, well, I would love to meet with, the others again. Like, we had this great connection. I told them everything. I told them very personal things about myself. Like, oh, yeah, like, I want to meet with them again. Oh, maybe we should try. We need to meet up with them like a third time. And then you sitting up there and on the poolside talking to Chris and like, oh, like, are you sure? You think we look good? Really? So, like, between me and you, it's nothing like. And then in other episodes, you were saying how, oh, yeah, we're, we definitely still could go, hiking. We still can go for a cold plunge, and we still can do this. But it was nobody else. Girl, you a liar. You are a liar. Manipulator. I don't like it. Like, who are you trying to fool right now? You trying to make yourself look good. Be honest. Be honest with the family. And tell them how you think you're out of his league. Tell them how you think you settled. Tell them that. Tell them that he ain't your usual type. Tell them that. Tell them that. Yeah. Moving on. So back to Alex and Ashley. Honest, Ashley and Alex pissed me off. And it's too, okay, so one thing about it, I feel like they, out of all the couples, they probably got the most camera time. Now that I'm thinking about it, they probably got the most camera time because they had a lot of drama. Okay. So now Alex and Ashley is back at the home, and Ashley decides to ask about Alex's exes again. And I'm just like, why is she so invested in these exes? She keep asking about these exes. And fair enough, because at the end of the day, I would also be questioning, like, why everybody leave you, or why everybody cheating on you? So you don't do no cheating, you don't do no leaving. It's just them. So you're not the problem. Nothing's wrong with you. Like, that's a red flag. Why do all these women leave you? What's wrong with you? Okay? He did say how one of his exes, he did not he did not like the fact that she was still cool with an ex. So he felt like that was cheating. He didn't like that. But then he tells Ashley, yeah, I'm still cool with my exes. Okay. Double standard. Okay, cool. And he says he visits his exes still. And there's an ex that he still communicates with. And then she's trying to like really figure out like, okay, you said you left from, I don't even remember. I don't know if she said they left from Arizona somewhere. You left from, let's just put a placeholder. You left from Arizona a few months before you came to the show, but you also said right before that you had broke up with another girl from Australia, and this isn't adding up to me. And then he's like, well, I mean, he looking like, damn, she just caught my ass, and oh shit. He's like, well, you know, it wasn't cheating though. It didn't, just know that it didn't overlap. Even if it didn't overlap, boo, you never gave yourself time to heal from any of those relationships that you had, okay? You just move on from one girl to the next girl, to the next girl, to the next girl, to the next girl, to the next date, to the next date, to the next date. That's more of a red flag than you talking about, oh, it wasn't cheating. It didn't overlap. It didn't have to overlap. It's a simple fact. Why you move on so fast? I said, run, girl. Girl, you need to run. And he was just saying like, she was saying like, oh, his timelines are like mixed up and they just don't match and it's just not making sense. And he was like, yeah, I know, like it's hard to follow, but you know, this is what it is. But I said red flag. And she said, well, you know, you cope how you cope. No, it ain't you cope how you cope. You cope how you cope what? What is he trying to cope through? Because to me, it seems like he starts a connection with a woman. He gets a soccer contract in another state. He leaves that woman for another woman. And then all of a sudden, he gets another soccer contract and he moves to another state with another woman. And then he moves from another state. Like, he just jumps back and forth. And then, like, what is the financial dynamic? Especially if you don't plan to stay in a place a long time with a woman. And I'm sure she knows that because you don't said it to Ashley about 10 times. So, like, what is the financial conversation? Like, if this woman has a home. Oh, he did say that. He said one of the exes, he had moved away and she did not want to leave with him. So he left her. Sounds familiar. Sounds like that's what he's going to do with you. But my thing is, if these women have, say they have a home, apartment, whatever, they probably can't just break their lease. And if they have a home, that's an investment. They probably don't want to just leave their home, right? So dealing with your homeless, broke ass, living with them, how do finances go? Are you helping with the bill, the mortgage? Are you helping with their rent? Are you helping with anything in the household? Or are you just always on the go and feel like you don't have to pay anything because you're only there half the time? You so dependent on seeing if Ashley's going to get a job. You need to be worried about your job after this show. I'm off him, for real. Because I'm really sick of his stories, and I'm sick of his excuses and his, like, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. He need a mama and he need a daddy at this point. Because the mama always on the run and the daddy is somewhere with a whole nother family, having another life. And his daddy done left a couple people hanging, a couple families hanging. And he not even in their life. So anyways, moving on. So after that scene, I guess all in all, he says like, oh, I'm not a cheater. She was like, well, my one, what is it? Like, she doesn't do cheaters at all. She doesn't do cheaters anything. So she's like, just be honest with me. Whatever you do, just be honest. Please don't cheat on me. Girl, you begging this man not to cheat on you? Girl, please, girl, bye. Anyways, he was like, yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Like, I'm not going to do that. Girl, please. Yes, he is. As soon as he leave this show, if they get married, and as soon as they leave that show, he gonna move to Florida on her ass while she up in Cleveland, and his ass gonna cheat. And he gonna find another relationship in Florida. And he gonna tell her, hey, adios. Like, if you ain't coming to Florida, hey, I gotta move on with my life. I'm down here being a soccer coach. Is you coming? Oh, you ain't coming? Oh, you are coming? Well, if you coming now, I'm about to go to Phoenix. Sorry, this is not gonna work out. He gonna be running for the rest of their relationship, okay? Nothing about him gave stationary. And I think Ashley did ask the mother, like, do you think like he's ready to settle down? And she goes, yeah, more than me. Like, girl, how is you telling this girl that he ready to settle down, but you telling him to live a nomad type lifestyle? And you're telling him don't be attached to people, don't be attached to things, just experiences, like travel, live life, da 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 da. Like, girl, you don't want him to be happy for real. You don't want him to be happy for real. Okay? Because you didn't get that. You didn't get that happiness with his father. And I feel like he's been carrying the weight of that on his shoulder forever. Because you've been running away from that hurt from his father. Okay? But anyways, that's another conversation for another day. All right? So now all the ladies and all the guys meet up. So all the couples come together. They meet up. Straight off the bat, I say Chris is a straight up asshole. I don't even know why he came to meet up. Because you're not even coupled with nobody. But since you're here, you little smurf, he just like, I don't give a damn, and I don't care, and that's all he's saying all night. I don't care, I don't give a damn. He just what he really ready to see is BRI. Okay, that's probably why he only came to see BRI. Let's be real. And he came to gloat, to say like, yeah, I turned down this doctor. Like, yeah, I'm the prize. Like, she's not my type. Physically, she's not my type. But BRI, that's my girl. I really want her, and I'm gonna get her. That's all he came to do. Okay. Tyler shows up. I was like, hey, Tyler. Kevin showed up. I was like, hey, Kevin. And I'm so glad Jessica showed up. Like, yes, because he not about to take this moment to gloat about how he wasn't physically attracted to you and how he's the prize and you not his type. No, Jessica, show up and show off, because you're that girl. Like, what? And then BRI is over there with the girls talking, and she goes, oh, guess what? Chris wrote me. And they're like, oh, no way. No, she's like, yeah, he wrote me. He texted me and said, oh, yeah, like after him and Jessica broke up. And I feel like in this moment, BRI, you're just not a girl's girl. Okay, on top of the fact that you wanted this man, you are now telling, he wrote. Why are you telling all the girls that? If anything, maybe tell that to just Jessica, because that's their business and that's what they're going through. But at the same time, what do you get out of telling the girls, oh, he wrote you? Again, feeding her ego, filling her ego. She feels important by doing that. And I'm like, you know exactly why he wrote you, because again, that's a scheme set up by Todd. Y'all probably planned this. Like, stop playing. You already had him as a second option. He had you as a second option. So, like, let's be for real. You know what's up. You know exactly why he wrote you. And then Emma, she's telling all the girls, like, oh, Chris bought his followers. And also, I don't know if it was Emma, but it was somebody else. Or, no, it was Jessica. She was saying how, like, after they broke up, he started a whole Instagram account and immediately posted him outside at the strip club, having the time of his life. Like, immediately after breakup. So it's like, oh, okay, Chris does not take this experiment serious at all. He never loved this girl. He never was in love with her. He never was thinking about taking this thing further than what it is. So he probably did this opportunist. So he's an opportunist. So he really probably did this to get the following, to get his image, his face out there, for social media, for content. Like, he didn't get on Love is Blind for genuine reasons, okay? That's what that gave me. And then Amber is my girl, okay? She seen Chris walking in and she's just like, you don't get to be this short and be this cocky. You don't get to be short and be that cocky. Like, who the hell do you think you is? Exactly what I've been saying. Like, you ain't the prize. Like, he feeling, who you feeling like? Amber basically like, who you feeling like? Who you feeling like? And then she called, she said, F them at bees. So she really was like, Amber is giving girl, okay? And then they move away from the girls and scan the camera back to BRI, and she's clearly happy to see Chris. And she's like, oh, hi. Oh, like, look who it is. I'm like, ugh, girl. Why you so happy to see this man? You was supposed to be with the girls and being like, F Chris. We don't care about no Chris. What? After hearing the story. And then she's all happy. She ran up to BRI. Like, oh my God, hi BRI. Like, girl, now y'all besties? That's so weird. That's so weird. You want her man. That's why you doing all this. You're weird. But when Jessica walked in, all the girls were gassing her up. And then Priyanka comes in. Priyanka was back in the quarters, okay? She never made it out of the pods. She never had a match or anything. But when she came in, Alex is like, is that Priyanka? Priyanka? I don't know. Is it her? Is it her? And when I seen it, I'm like, wait, is he? First of all, are you saying that's Priyanka because of her name and like her physical look? Like you didn't want to be offensive to say that's her because of her name and how she looks. Like, I don't want to assume that's her. Or are you saying that's Priyanka because you had gained some type of connection with her in the pods and you know that's her, but you don't want to be the one to say that's her because you had gained a connection? So I'm like, okay. But then Alex says, I actually know Priyanka. We had mutual friends, or like from an ex or something in our mutual friend group. But I just didn't want to ruin the experiment for her. I never said anything. I wanted her to have an honest experiment, whatever. I'm like, so Priyanka know your tea. I can't wait. Well, that's if Ashley even asks her, because Ashley's so ditzy. She probably not even going to ask Priyanka nothing. But me personally, I would be asking Priyanka, so what do you know about Alex? What do you know about this guy? So he acting like he don't know that's her, but he know that's her. Like, boy, you know exactly who that is. Okay. So now Jessica, Christina, Amber, and Tyler are talking about the situation, and she's just telling them how, Chris basically said like he doesn't like her body and he usually goes for girls who do Pilates and yoga and stuff like that. And they're just saying like he's like an asshole. Like, no way, girl, you deserve better. And Amber don't play. She was like, like, I just can't believe he is like that. And on her little confessional part, she basically saying like I'm disgusted with him, basically. Like, he's so full of himself. Like, who did he think he is? So there's a scene where Chris runs off to the bathroom and Chris still has his mic on and he's there with another cast member, which I believe was Jordan, which is Amber's fiance. And Chris is like, he's in the bathroom like, oh my God, BRI is so hot. Like, yeah, I just want her. And then the person in the bathroom goes, well, you know, she's here with Connor. And he's like, so what? What is Connor gonna do? Beat me up? Ha 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 ha. I'm like, I do not like Chris for nothing, okay? And who are you in the bathroom with? Because y'all both kikiing and all that. They come out the bathroom and Chris Amber, hey Amber, I know you don't like me right now. I know you hate me. All the girls hate me. But Jordan, this is my guy. Look, I love Jordan. This is my guy. And Amber's like she's not falling for the gassing up that he's doing, okay? And she kind of tells him, like, you know, I don't know what she said. I think she said, like, you know, I don't mess with you. You're right. I don't like you. I don't fool with you. Cool. And she's like, you think you're gonna find another hot doctor? And just walks off. And he's like, yeah, left him stuck. Cause you probably not. You not. Cause Chris, you're not the prize. Goodbye. So then, you know, Chris is there alone by himself, and then Bree, Ashley, and Priyanka go to talk to him and comfort him. And I'm side-eyeing them because, first of all, Bree, we already know what your intentions are. Ashley, why is you over there? Why are you over there, Ashley? Go be in your man face, okay? Or go be with the girls. And then Priyanka, I don't know much about Priyanka, but since you weren't here in the pods to figure out who chose who and all that, you don't know what's been going on. And after y'all just heard that story from Jessica, why are y'all talking to this man? It's one thing to get his side, okay? Get his side and walk away, move on, okay? It doesn't seem like Ashley wanted to leave though. Because at one point, after he says how, you know, his sex drive and how he really like the physical aspect of a relationship is really important to him, I feel like Ashley was drooling. I'm like, yeah, that's right up Ashley alley, ain't it? You know, because how she is with Alex. Maybe y'all would be cool with each other. Maybe y'all would be a match, okay? And I don't know, Ashley was like fake being understanding to him, like, yeah, no, like, we okay, yeah, no, we get it. And I'm like, y'all giving him this attention is peeing me off. It's really pissing me off. This is what he wants. He wants all of this attention, okay? So then Priyanka's like, okay, well, Ashley, come on, like, let's go over there with the girls. Let's go talk to the girls. And Ashley's like, sure, you want to? Like, okay. Like, she didn't really want to go over there. I'm like, you on Chris bad, ain't you? So then Bree and Chris are now talking. And he's being so disrespectful. And oh yeah, that was another thing. Why he was talking to the girls, he was over talking them. They were just trying to like get his perspective on things. But like every time they would give him like, you know, that's understandable. Physical attraction, you know, that can grow. He's like, no, it's bad. It's horrible. Like, I can't do it. And I'm like, ugh, like, and then he's mad loud. And they're telling him like, you're mad loud. Like, but he's still talking about Jessica, about her body, about the physical attraction. And then after that, anyways, it gets loud to a point. That's when I think Priyanka was like, okay, let's get away from this conversation. All right, but Bree stays because she's not a girl's girl, and she wants Connor. I mean, she wants Chris. Let's be honest. That's why she stays. She wanted to be in his face because that's all she wanted anyway. So he's talking to Bree, and he threatens her and says, like, you know, I could have you. You know, why would you bring this guy home? Like, you think your dad will want to see that type of guy to bring home? Like, no, I'm the guy you need to bring home. I'm your type. We are a good match, and you're so hot. You look so good, and I can have you. And ditch that guy. He's not the one for you. He's submissive. You need someone more dominant and someone more manly, and he's not manly. And I'm just like, oh my God. That confirms again his narcissistic ways, okay? And he was tempting her, basically saying he was better than Connor. It's Oh yeah, so he was saying like, she said something about the sexual attraction, like, you know, it could be worked out, like, you know, or she was asking him like, how is it? And he was like, it's horrible. It's horrible. She's like, okay. And he was like, well, how was the sex with you and Connor? And she's like, it's good. He's like, is it the best you ever had? She's like, I mean, it's not the best I ever had, but it's good. And she's like, are you looking for the best you ever had? And he was like, no, but like when I do, I give the best I ever had. So I want that in return. And it was just like, ugh, he's like tempting her. I just did not like this conversation. And he said it's horrible, like with a smile. I was like, yuck. He hated Jessica. Damn. But Brie was still standing there listening and taking it all in, because I feel like this was actually feeding her ego. Like her knowing that this guy wanted her and that he left a doc. She gives pick me. Brie is a pick me, okay? Knowing that he left Jessica, a well-rounded woman, got things going for herself, independent woman, left her and then went to Brie. It's like Brie is now gloating. Like she's like, oh my God, like you want me? Like she's not really saying much, but she's kind of giving like a mesmerized type of look. Like as he's talking, she's like drinking her drink. Like at any moment she could have walked away. Any moment she could have been like, you know what? I'm sorry things did not work out with you and Jessica, but this is now becoming an inappropriate conversation. I have someone, I chose my person, and I wish the best of luck to you. And Jessica deserves better, and you just really show me how horrible of a human you are or a man you are. Like she didn't say none of that. She just was taking it in and like, oh, don't say that, Chris. And Chris and just sitting there like, what kind of games is y'all really playing? Okay, so I just hope that, and that's how basically how the episode ends, basically like with him trying to big up and gas up Brie and how he wants her and how she does not need to be with Connor. Okay, and it shows a clip of what's to see in the next episodes, but I decided not to watch it because I kind of want to be surprised. But it sounded like a few people did make it to the altar. But overall with this episode, I'm so over Chris. I'm so over Chris and his antics. I'm over Brie as well with her pretending. And Devontae and Brittany. Like, I just, and Ashley and Alex. I'm over them. Over these couples. I don't want none of them to say yes. I don't want any of them to get married. Because, it's not a good look. So, thanks again for coming here to watch my recap of episode 9. I will be watching episode 10 today. And then we have episode 11. And then the weddings are March 4th. That's in just a couple days. So if you haven't watched the previous recaps, please go and do that. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching. And I'll catch you guys on the next recap.